afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Let's have a look what's going on. So, had some pretty decent trading volume today. I think in general, it's not been too bad. Unfortunately, I've been on the wrong side of the market for some of it, not in terms of incurring losses, but just simply the fact our pending orders never got triggered. We had some pretty explosive breakouts today. The EU50 in particular was one of them. We're trading a fair shout away from the previous highs at the moment, really. Still got a ways to go, but we've had a really nice bounce back from here. And we're looking like we're just today breaking the structural point in our run up to the next previous major daily high of around 50.33-ish. That's our next point of call once we break structure here. So my strategy for the shorts is now going to be reversal for longs and trend continuation rather than trend reversal based on the parameters here laid out in this price action. So 15-minute time frame again, we now essentially are looking for a nicer, sort of more significant price action pullback back down to around this sort of 49.20-ish area, and then we can get looking at that sort of move to the upside there. So I do expect this one to now continuing all the way back up to 50.20. Now we're not going to be longing the entire thing. It is going to be over the duration of several trades, I should imagine. Let me move the microphone there. There we go. Yeah, so this will be over the duration of several trades rather than just one big long one. But it is looking good. And the other one, of course, is the DAX. And the DAX, I was expecting to see some kind of more significant reversal from the daily cash-rich zone that we're in at the moment. Hey, good afternoon, Scotty. And good afternoon, Michael. I've got connection issues again. 5,000 ms ping. Let's try that. See if that increases the bandwidth. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I've got full signal. My internet on my side is actually really good, so I'm not entirely sure why we're getting bad ping here on the stream. But I'm going to carry on. We'll see how it goes. I might have to look at... To be fair, I must admit, guys, I actually forgot yesterday to even restart the router to flush through the DNS. So possibly that is the fault. It might be my fault. I did forget to do that. So I'll do that as soon as I get off here today, and hopefully tomorrow we'll see that better. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, I am a bit confused, a bit of a loss, because everything seems to be absolutely fine. I mean, my side, my internet's running really smooth. All the apps are running smooth and everything. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's good to see you all. Let's see if we can continue without any more hiccups. So, cut a long story short, the DAX today has been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal in the wrong direction. I had one pending here. I actually told everyone, hopefully you saw it, to remove your pending order for the first. I had a second pending order here, which was supposed to be the reversal from this area. In actual fact, the DAX has just snapped this like it's hot knife through butter. Now, if we look at the daily chart up here, we are literally a stone's throw away from the all-time high. All-time high on the JO40 at the moment is around 18,913.33. That is the all-time high. And our high today is literally just underneath that, 18,863.90. So really close distance away from that all-time high area. Now, if we look at the scale of this move in the DAX here, from this low to this high, we've seen a significant rally. I mean, this is no joke. This is a really big rally back. So we've come down, flushed out all of the longs, basically all the retail longs that would have been long in the market from all these areas here, flushed it all out, triggered all the stops all the way down, chain liquidation, right the way back down to liquidity point here at 17k, and then we've rallied back in no time at all. And this is the difference between institutional investing, right? Got all the retail trading going on in here, buying long, buying, then selling on the last candle, right into liquidity, and then buying, and then it's gone all the way back. And meanwhile, the institutional traders with the big money funds have all been buying up the DAX for a long time. And so this is just a dash, like a pebble in the sea, almost. And they're raking it all in all at the same time. Now we're up at this area at the moment. I still am going to hold firm on my bias that yes, it's coming, a deeper corrective is on its way. Now we can actually already see here the beginnings of this taking place. We are starting to see a bit of a fall away now. We do have a trading opportunity, to be fair, which is triggering as we speak. Okay, so this trading opportunity here, that is a trading opportunity, make no mistake. Except now we're in a bit of a hairy area because we want to be taking it down to around here. And of course, we're looking at a 1 to 1.64. Plus, the market is actually trading there. So unless we get a price action pullback of some kind or contraction in the single candle back up to that area, it's just not going to work out for us. Yeah, it's just not going to work out. So let's go down to the 1 minute chart and see what's going on down here. Okay, so we've got liquidity in here. Yeah, very nice spot liquidity there. We've got the rebound here. We need the retest. So that makes sense. And this is the big 15-minute zone down here. We do have this area on the 1 minute chart, which hasn't yet had a proper retest. The problem is, of course, this looks like it's going without us, doesn't it? But we're not going to rush. We're not going to panic. We're just going to be nice and calm. So we don't want to be jumping into any ridiculous trades in the midpoint of these two areas. So what I would be thinking, target profit is going to be there. Stop loss is going to be all the way down here. This is our point of liquidity that we're using. And what we're going to be doing is looking for now the retest continuation. Retest and then continuation. And then we want to be looking at triggering our trade ideas on an aggressive BOS following the retest of this area. So no pendings allowed. This is a manual trade. Market order. Now, we've got a spot of liquidity here at the price line, which means my bias is that the retest will begin pretty much now. So we should see the buyback start to take place. The bounce coming up to around 1882.7. And then for the continuation. Now, if this market snaps this area, then this trade is done. There is nothing to be had. And I don't want to be caught longing the market from this area either. This is a short-only opportunity. The buyback area, if we're being really fussy and really quite, I don't know, paying attention to the details, so to speak, is going to be from down at this area in here. My stupid internet is down on 1 again, isn't it? Yeah. This is doing my head in. I've never had problems like this before, so what the hell's going on now? Alright, anyway. And so yeah, we'll be looking at the market coming down and then buying back from around this space here and then buying back all the way back up to the top, up until that all-time high. My bias for the DAX is long, make no mistake. It's a long market. But we're just looking for the reversals. Now, obviously on a 15-minute chart, I am unwilling to be buying throughout this space. But if we're coming back down for the retest of this area, then I'm going to have no problem going long from this area back up to get that all-time high. So that will be the plan of attack from there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop an alert in whilst we're still on the stream here. So I'm going to pop an alert in there. Let me know if the market comes back up to that area, and then we can sit tight and wait for the continuation. If the market comes back up to this area, then I'm absolutely fine putting a pending order in. If it goes down to this area, then it's scrubbed. That is what it is. So I jumped on the charts this morning anyway. I was knocking out a couple of trade ideas. There was a couple of opportunities, obviously, in the DAX and the EU50 that I liked. A few guys for the fund as well, so I posted them out, and I also posted one of the UJ at a 0.2%, which alas failed, and has now got a BCR in the wrong direction. Is now trading higher. To be honest with you, that was about it. I didn't really see too much of anything else. The UK Brent market as well is another disappointment because we never actually reached our really big area of liquidity. So we've just taken this turning point from this area here, which is a minute one in comparison to this up here, but it has still resulted in a significant sell-off. Problem is, we're not going to be bothering getting involved in anything down here. So now, obviously, the opportunity is looking out for the buyback. If the market comes all the way back down to this low and then gets a nice breaker structure, I will be looking to buy all the way back up to this area in here with the stops down there, somewhere about there, and then obviously looking to buy back in the second half here as well, should we not wish to stick out the single trade for the whole duration. So I know this chart looks a bit messy now, but that's just kind of my thoughts there. Looking at gold at the moment, we've also actually had quite a nice sell-off today in this one. Can't really count any of this because that's Asia session trading. But as soon as we did break the structure through this area, we did get this nice 1 to 2 trade down at the lows here, there. So that was quite a decent one as well. It is having what looks like a bit of a price action pullback now, a little bit of a retest maybe of liquidity, possibly at around, yeah, I mean that's a decent area in there, isn't it? So I'd expect this to come back up to maybe 25 and then trade lower from there, maybe from that point on, maybe a little bit underneath. But in terms of the trading opportunities, I mean, it's not slim. It's pretty slim pickings, team. Yeah, it's pretty slim pickings, because at the end of the day, I want to be looking at those key inflection points. So my key inflection point setup would be short from up here, which was at 2 a.m. last night. Obviously, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for most of you either. I know. So that one sends that one kind of out of the park. Now we're trading right at the tail end of this move before we get to the big prime area of liquidity down here. And so therefore we don't really want to be taking any shorts into there either. That's just high risk territory. Gambling. We don't want to be gamblers. So now it's a case of just having to sit tight and wait. And that's absolutely fine. You know, I don't care. If I'm going to be waiting for a decent 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, then I'm absolutely fine doing so. I do not want to be flailing around like a lost pup, looking for whatever I can. That's not our style. It's not the UTC style. So we will be looking for a trade back from this area, and then we can be looking at the full scope of distance there for a pretty decent return, or we can be looking at several intraday trading opportunities based on breaks of structure and looking for equally decent returns, just broken down into smaller segments. And so that's what I'll be doing there on gold. So as it stands right now, there's no official fund opportunity, but just know that it is in the watch list. It is something that we're looking at, same as oil. Okay, so Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD was a winner yesterday. It was really nice. Exactly as the path is indicated. We've come down, dipped our toes into big liquidity, come back up. Not only did we get a BCR, the ascending level, we came up, broke structure, come down, comes pretty damn close to the stop loss, and then bang, 230, we get the rollout, trade completes. We actually did have a really nice shorting opportunity, and shame on me, this is completely my bad. I did see this trading opportunity. Obviously, we're looking at the rejection liquidity above. I just decided against it because we'd only just won the long. I didn't want to get overzealous with it. That was a decent opportunity though, unfortunately, guys, and that's just on me. If you didn't take it or whatever, that's whatever. That's on me, that one. So we will be looking at the Aussie CAD again. I'm really, really impressed with the AC, to be honest. AC has been really consistent over the course of the last maybe 6 weeks now. Very, very consistent moves, and it just is one of those ones that I'm understanding quite nicely. So trying to put a bit of emphasis behind that one actually because of how responsive it's been. So I will be looking at a similar setup again. Price action to come into liquidity, dip its toes in the water, come back up, break structure, exactly the same trade. All I'm going to do is copy and paste. It's exactly the same trade. Obviously, it's not going to happen the same way, but the same trade is what I'm looking at yet again. And don't forget, just like yesterday, it must come down into liquidity. It has to. It's non-negotiable. It has to break down into liquidity before we take it. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm also going to do. I'm also going to copy and paste this. I'm also going to do that because that is an absolute must. Right, Aussie yen. Yeah, to be honest, it's just the trading margins on this one are too tight. It's quite choppy. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the Aussie yen for the time being. Not a fan. Aussie NZD. Let's have a look on the daily quick on this one. Yes, okay, look at that, right? That's a perfect parallel channel. Absolutely perfect. No editing or any skewed levels required at all. It's very, very clean. So we could be in the runnings up here for a very nice opportunity. This is your point of liquidity that you want to be working with. Okay, definitely money in the market here. Pennant, breakout, retest, breakout, retest, breakout, retest, breakout. Now we're back down here again. Now a lot's happened on this level already. We're a little bit late to the park, I suppose. A little bit late to the game on this one. But because of where we are, it does yield some really, really decent opportunity. Now, technical risk factor, we kind of have one, which is probably sat around here. I'd say if we zoom right in, just look at this under a microscope, see this low and this high? These are actually miniature inflection points. Okay, we've come down to reach this low. After that low, we went from 108.42 up to a high into liquidity at 108.54. And from this one, we made this high at 107.98 and then came down to make a low at 107.50. So these are miniature inflection points. Big ones on the 15-minute time frame, for example. So then if I then draw a zone from the bottom of that to the top of this and drag that one across sideways, this then becomes a potential for a short. And that's your trading margin. Also being a breakout of the current trend. And this is definitely a trending market, 100%. Of course, the opposing view is that we're going to bounce back and we're going to get a decent trend continuation trade. That's the favorable option. So we want to be looking for the bull run. Now, obviously, beggars can't be choosers. If it's short, and we've got that trade idea lined up. I'll look at that on the 15-minute in a second. But ideally, we're going to be looking for the bull run. And the bull run's target profit is going to be the median of the trend. And the median of the trend from here is around 110.44. That's a big distance on a 15-minute chart. So frankly, I'll be looking at an intraday target probably somewhere in the region of around 109.80. There is a breaker structure limit here at 109.23. And so it could be the case, if the margin is there, to look at having that as the 15-minute target profit and then looking to take a second longer term trade to the median if this is broken. Or for you guys, obviously you have the possibility of taking the trade down here and then holding on to it through there up until that target and then just building an exit strategy via a counter trend breaker structure if you decide you wish to get out early. But if we look at this on a 15-minute time frame, probably gives us a little bit better perspective of what's going on. So of course, this is the representative of the bottom of the trend. We don't really care about that on a 15-minute time frame. Frankly, it can come to within a differential of around 50 pips before it goes back on a daily chart. That's just going to be a wick if it's within the same daily candle. So I don't really care about that. But what I would be looking for is a breaker structure around here. Okay, so this would be like the 15-minute area where I would expect it to bounce off the bottom of the area and then pass through. On the pass through, we're then going to be looking at the short about here, pending order, target profit down at the top of that one at around 108.91. Stop loss, nice margin above the zone up there for a 1 to 2.32 to 1. So that's a solid trade. Now the second, and this is the daily breaker structure for the daily long-term trade, all the way up to this area here. Okay, so that's, as you can see, that's a really healthy trading margin. And this area in between here, we haven't really had too much action per se, but we have had a couple of runs that are worth noting. This one here, for example. This one I'm going to give a shout out to anyway, even though we've missed the bottom. It's still been a pretty good one. And then of course we've got the most recent one, which is this one here, and this one here. So the breaker structure on the 15-minute time frame arguably is going to be, there are some technical risk factors. The cleanest level of liquidity is there. Now that's quite a deep breaker structure, okay, to get into the market. Bearing in mind, look, there's quite a significant portion of movement here. But the thing is, if we break this, we literally have a clean bill of health, right the way back up to 109.10. We've got this area in here. I don't really care too much about that, to be honest, at this stage. But that's a pretty clean run, and the most probable. So then my long is going to be taken above here. Breaker structure pending order, entry, stop loss, somewhere around where it is at the moment, to be honest. That's absolutely fine. And that's that. So that's a 1 to 2.6. Now 1 to 2.6 is going to return upwards of 0.6%, which is great. And that's what we like that. So there are two trading opportunities in the Aussie NZD, with the possibility of a much longer term opportunity up to around 110.40 up at the highs there. And that would be long-term trend continuation. I say long-term loosely because frankly it's not really that long-term, but you know, in comparison to what we've been used to over the course of the last few months, certainly long-term. Okay, Aussie dollar. Not a huge fan. Yeah. Not a huge fan. Because that's already close to there, so we can't really take that. Maybe a long. I don't really want to go long. We're on Wednesday today. We've got the, what was the PCE? The 0.2 is the forecast. So that's Friday. Friday is the PCE. Friday. Friday's PCE. Today we got nothing, so there's actually no technical risk factors at all. The only technical risk factor, the only fundamental risk factor we have tomorrow is GDP growth rate, Q2. Okay, so we don't really have anything to contend with at this stage, taking a long against the US dollar with the Australian dollar. And let's face it, I mean, the Aussie dollar's been definitely having a good time at the moment. There's no real reason to suggest they were going to be reaching any sort of cataclysmic sell-off in our commodity currency here. Yeah. Now I'm looking at the daily, I must say, that's not looking too bad for a DT. But, I mean, that could be a pretty decent... Oh, looks like our DAX is triggered. Or not triggered, setting up, let's have a look. Ah, look at that, guys. The trade already got done. So we had the rebound from that area, broke down further, hit TP, and has now rallied back. Yeah. Bit of a shame. I don't know. What are we thinking about this one? I think it's already come down to the point in which I was expecting there to be buybacks taking place. I mean, look at the size of these candles. So there's definitely money down at that area, so it was a good call in that regard. Unfortunately, just weren't quite quick enough to get in there in the first instance. Don't know, it could definitely go back down there again. Definitely could. I just don't feel so confident about it because we've already been there now. So to be fair, guys, do you know what? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not going to get caught up trading European stocks at this time of the day. So I'm going to let that one go. So remove that plan from our heads. Alright, Aussie dollar, I'm not entirely sure about that one, to be honest, guys, so I'm going to leave that one as well. Euro yen. I was looking at this one earlier, actually, because we're at a really nice floor. So if we just zone across the bottom of the current low and drag that one backwards, I mean, look at how nice that floor is. We've been here so many times in the past. Now, if we look at the most prominently used and closest level to where we currently are trading, that's going to be about there, right? I think we should be all in agreement with that. We've got these lows across the bottom of here, the highs here, retests all across the way and stuff. I think that's a pretty decent area, right? So then, if we're looking at that being the high, let's say the breaker structure point for this trade is definitely going to be around there. Then we're going to be looking at a BOS, sorry, not a BCR. Entry, stop loss. I'm just not going to be greedy. I'm just going to go for a 1 to 2.1 there. And that could be a trade. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Love that. I mean, this has been one big inflection point, hasn't it? The size of these price action pullbacks here, if we get the rally up, little pullback, big rally, little pullback, well, this is into liquidity now, it's that zone, isn't it? Then we snap through and we go straight the way up. So I'm thinking pending order long, EJ, entry 160.96, target 161.44, stops 160.73. That would be my plan of attack for that one. This is going to be based on a 0.25% per risk trade. There's no major technical or fundamental risk factors we need to be too aware of. Technical could possibly come into the equation at around 161.20. There is a level in there, but it's not an inflection point area, not at all. It's neither the major highs nor the major lows of anything. It's just a little one where we have some price action pullbacks and stuff taking place. So I'm happy with that. Euro NZD. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that one earlier because we're already at a major area. So look at the daily. Yeah. Okay. Very, very big sell-off. Don't want to be catching a falling knife here. I'm willing to wait for a daily breaker structure to get in short for the move back down to around 175. Not entirely sure why we would be looking for that low, fundamentally speaking. Eurozone at the moment, not in a complete state of disrepair. So it would be interesting to see what happens with that one, but the trading margin is certainly there. We have a technical risk factor somewhere at around 50% of the move, maybe around 176.60. I definitely think there's opportunity there. So we'll look at the Euro NZD. I don't think I'm going to be looking at it to trade today, but I certainly will be tomorrow. So we'll put that as a star, or we'll put it as a potential, red short. And then we can get back to going on that one tomorrow. Euro Oz, really nice big breaker structure actually today, to be honest. reason we weren't stuck in that one is because of this area in here. And so we're waiting to clear that out, and then we have a clean shot down to this area in here. Now this has got the retest 1 and retest 2 to confirm the area's validity. So really this is our trading margin. Now on a 50-minute time frame, this is not bad at all. It's not overextended, it's not too much, it's really nice. So what I'm going to be looking for here, break a structure of this area. Purely speculative, guys, this is for illustration purposes only. You know, I'm expecting there to be a structural point somewhere around that 163.60 area, as I usually do. So expect to break a structure around here somewhere, and then we're looking at launching the trade. Target profit down around 162.47. Stop loss is going to be up at around 163.90, and that yields a 1 to 3. Very, very nice. 0.75% return. Euro dollar, no thank you. Pound against the yen, no thank you. Cable, honestly, no thank you. Yeah, no, too tight. Lots of technical risk factors at play. Possibly look for a long up to 132.40. I'm not entirely sure that would be great trading though. I kind of feel that would be clutching at straws. Regain my reputation with cable or something. That's what it feels like. What's going on down here? So that's these highs. Yeah, so something like that. I don't know. What's the risk reward saying? Nope. No, not on cable. NZD yen. Okay. Got a very nice ascending level. Got a bit of a wedge starting to form up here. Nice breakout pattern on a higher time frame potentially. Not on the 15. So we've got this area in here. It's our ceiling. And we've got the floor there. So it could be going for a nice breakout. Any trading opportunities for us right now? Absolutely not. No chance. So break, close and retest. 90.40. That would be nice. That would be solid. Look at this daily chart. There is a lot of money to be made in this NZD-JPY, 100%. Lots of money. The buyback opportunities here are rife. So what we're going to be looking at is how to get into this. It's not really a case of where's our target profit going to be, where's our stop loss going to be. It's where do we get into it. So if we go back in time here, we look at potential ceilings. Well, that looks like a pretty decent one. Not the perfect one, but a pretty decent one. We've got this area of imbalance here. Market flip-flops for a while, doesn't it? So we know that there's money in here. I wouldn't necessarily call this a cash-rich area by any stretch, but there's money in there, money enough to shake the market. So I think what I'm going to be doing is probably paying this a little bit more respect, a little bit of patience, dragging this area up to the highs here. Make sure we clear the way with this, clear out the way of this area in here. We do have to contend with the technical risk factor that sits across the top a little bit, around 93.65, but ultimately I think a push through to this area and we can look at taking a long-term trade right the way back up to the top. And that will be worth some serious money because then we can scale in right the way up to the top. Trade number 1 is going to be worth a 1 to 4. And then we take trade number 2 after we break through liquidity here. Trade number 2. And then trade number 3, about there, the last leg of the run. Trade 1, trade 2, trade 3. Trade 3 is going to be intraday style. Probably only be running for around 48 hours, maybe not even that. But I do expect the NZD-JPY to trade back up 98.32. I really, really do. After a move like this, yeah, I do foresee that. NZD dollar. Break, close, and retest, big liquidity, break a structure, got a secondary retest underway at this time. So that looks long to me. Yeah, that really does. That does look long. So probably be looking for a break of structure at the top of there. A lot of these trades, I don't know if you'd take them really on a 15-minute chart, to be honest, some of these. But I mean, if we take a break of structure trade there, then you're going to at least be looking for around here as your TP. Now, I wonder if you guys would be thinking, like, well, why did you choose there? So, I mean, ultimately, I'm choosing here because of there. High, high, high. Yeah, a couple of highs down here, but we have another high here. This area is where the action happens. If we look at this area on here as well, we come up, we reject. We come up, we pause. We come back down. We come up, we come back down, we retest, we continue. So lots of action happening around this point in here. Lots of action. So that's probably where I'd be aiming for. Now, if we go to a 15-minute chart and line this one up for us now, that is not going to be a bad little intraday trade. Because then we look at the breaker structure on the 15-minute time frame. Bang, put it there. Stops about there. Target profit up here. 1 to 2.2 risk reward. 0.25, 0.54 return. You see. Possibly, but not today. I really like this area in here. Now, I've used this area before for different trades. That is the area I like. We've also kind of got one down here as well, don't we? All these lows. Ah, it could be alright. That could be... Yeah, that could be alright. That's a big margin though, isn't it? That is a very, very big trading margin. Kind of missed the boat on the... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alarm in for the floor. If the market comes back down and meets the floor at some point, then I'm going to be happy. And we can get going with a trading opportunity there. But I don't want to be looking at it just yet. I'm going to flag that one green just for the long. USD Yen. Nope, I'm not happy with you, so no more. Alright, US stocks, guys. We're 10 past 2, so I know we're running a little bit behind. That's fine. So, let's have a look then. So, the NAS 100, currently trading. Let's get a fresh pair of eyes. Currently trading in a pretty nasty place. Not going to lie, it doesn't look great. We don't have any sort of very clearly articulated areas of liquidity to utilize. We're right in the middle of a couple of big ones. So obviously we have the nice big one across the top, which we're not near at the moment. And we have a relatively good one down, no, not down there. That looks like an ascending level rising up through there. It doesn't go anywhere though. So I would say, I don't know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Got this really big extension down here. Very, very big rally back. We've got this area here, which looks like it would have been good at that point in time, but then just gets wasted by the rest of them. So I think the best one to utilize would probably be here, down at that low. And that's the kind of margin that we've got to work with. And unfortunately, team, we're trading right in the bloody middle of it, which means it's going to be very, very difficult to try and find some opportunity around here in this NAS today. Now, essentially, we're going to be looking to trade between the two margins. So it's simple in a sense. It's just not good because there's none that we can look at taking in the short term. So we can either take a long from down here, target profit up there, obviously the very, very sort of straightforward one, and it'll be the exact same for the short. Stops up there, target profit all the way down here. So both of them yielding pretty decent results. One's a 1 to 2.5, the other one's a 1 to 2.54. We do have opportunities that can be taken in, let's say, if I kind of shade the areas, how could I do this? So let's pretend like, Let me just level this out quickly here. Just make sure that's absolutely level, and then like that. So, okay, let's pretend that this black space here above the parallel channel and the black space below the parallel channel, these are the sort of margins that you can still utilize for your longs and shorts. So you're okay using any of these. You know, any of these trade ideas, even like the breaker structure one, say for example in here. You're okay taking that, for example. That's a solid trade idea as well. But we just can't trade anywhere between zone 1, which is this one here, and zone 2, which is this one here. This area, in this middle area here, is just completely off limits. Completely. So I'll leave that one with you. My personal plan is going to be looking at utilizing this space entirely for my trade. So I will be really, really fussy, wait for the NAS to spike down or wait for the NAS to spike up, and then go for my long or my short. Now this trade idea will not be done in the space of 10 to 15 minutes like some of them. This is a longer term trading margin today, but it is what it is. We can't do anything about that. I may do some trading which, you know, say for example we've got this area in here. If the market comes down to this area and then we come back up, we break the structure, I may set myself up with a trade idea, which I will do my best to shout it out, as I usually do. I will try and make a trade out of that, for example. You know, something very, 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 very short term. You know, a 1 to 1.88 or something. Now, it's not going to be the big juicy whale, the 1 to 2.5, obviously, but it's going to be good enough for me. I'll be happy with that. But that is it. That's what it looks like. So you've got a breaker structure area here. You've got another breaker structure area in here. Okay, so you can definitely utilize them. You can take a short below here. So for example, short entry, short stop. I mean, that's going to yield a hell of a good risk reward ratio, guys. Really, really good. You've got your sort of long target there. You've got your long entry here. You've got your long stops about maybe like there. So 1 to 3.41. So you got some really solid trading opportunities here. So try and utilize them as best you can. Now looking at the Dow Jones, just to finish this up. 15-minute chart. Let's have a look. I mean, God, that looks like it looks like a murder scene. It really does. It's disgusting at the moment, this Dow Jones. Yeah. Do you know what, guys? I'm actually not even going to try and scrape together any potential trades on this. That's not how we work. So I'm going to stick to what looks good. I think the NAS 100 yields some really solid opportunities. Lots of variation in them as well. Okay, different entries that we can utilize and stuff. So we're going to be working entirely upon the US tech stocks today. Primarily tech traders. We're not going to bother with industrial. Okay? That's the way we're going to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you all ready? Any questions? Ready. Good man. Good man. Yep, good man, Michael. No problem at all. Matthew, good man. Well done. Yep. Paul, perfect. Okay, great. Well done, guys. Yep, awesome. Thanks, Nadia. Yep, good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wish you all a wonderful rest of the day then. You've got about 15 minutes now until the market opens up. Grab yourself a pack of crisps and well, definitely not a pint of lager at this rate, but a cup of coffee or whatever you need. And get yourselves ready for the US Open. And let's go kill it. I'll be present and stuff, so hit me up with what's going on, and I will try my best to do the same. So take care, guys. Have a great day. Look forward to catching up with you later. Cheers then. Bye-bye.